Let's be honest, renting can feel like you're trying to read a different language, right? All that legal jargon, those long contracts, it's a lot. But what if it didn't have to be? In this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you the essentials, the stuff you really need to know to feel confident about your tenancy.
So, I'm guessing if you're here, you're probably renting right now, you've rented before, or you're about to. It's just a massive part of life for so many of us in the UK.
We're going to break down what's actually important in that agreement. We'll look at the type of contract you most likely have, figure out what your landlord is legally supposed to do, what your responsibilities are, and we'll clear up a few key terms that can make a huge difference.
Okay, first things first. If you're renting from a private landlord today, it's almost a dead cert that you have what's called an Assured Short-Hold Tenancy, or an AST for short. Pretty much since 1997, this has been the standard default contract. So unless you've signed something really unusual, everything we're about to talk about, yeah, it applies to you.
So, Assured Short-Hold Tenancy. That name actually tells you a lot. Those two words, assured and short-hold, sound a bit jargony, but they represent a really crucial difference in how much security you have as a tenant. Think of it this way. A full assured tenancy is kind of like having tenure. It gives you some serious long-term security. A landlord can't just kick you out. They need a really good, legally sound reason. But the short-hold part gives the landlord a trump card. It means they can take the property back without giving any reason at all, as long as they give you proper notice. This is the big trade-off right at the heart of most rental contracts today.
Okay, so let's get into rights and responsibilities, because a tenancy agreement is absolutely a two-way street. It's not just a list of rules for you. It clearly lays out what your landlord owes you and what you owe them.
So, what's on your landlord's to-do list? Well, they have a legal duty to make sure your home is safe and in good shape. We're talking about the big stuff here: the roof, the walls, the plumbing, the heating. And this is critical. They have to make sure gas and electrical systems are safe, which includes getting a gas safety check every single year. Plus, any furniture they provide has to meet fire safety rules. These aren't suggestions, they're the law.
And on your side of the deal, well, it's pretty straightforward. Your main jobs are to pay the rent on time, look after the property reasonably well, and cover your own bills like council tax and utilities unless your contract specifically says otherwise. Simple as that. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. What if you're not renting a whole place to yourself? With more and more of us living in shared houses, you really need to understand the special rules that apply. Let's talk about HMOs.
I mean, it's almost a rite of passage, isn't it? Whether you were a student or just starting out in a new city. But from a legal standpoint, not all shared houses are created equal.
So this is the official definition of a house in multiple occupation, or HMO. The key thing to get here is that the tenants aren't one single household, like a family. Usually it means you rent your own room, you probably didn't know your housemates before moving in, and you all share the kitchen and bathroom.
And this is where you see two really common setups. In a classic HMO, you might have your own individual contract just for your room. But think about a typical student house. There, a group of friends will usually sign one single contract for the whole property. And that is a massive difference, because with a joint tenancy, you're all legally on the hook for the entire rent, not just your bit.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Have you ever wondered why one neighborhood seems to be full of shared houses, but the one next door has almost none? It's not always just random chance. A lot of the time, it actually comes down to your local council.
And the main tool they use to control this is something called an Article 4 direction. You can think of it as a special planning rule that a council can activate in certain areas to get a tighter grip on the kind of housing that's available.
So how does this thing actually work? Well, normally, a landlord can take a regular family home and turn it into a small HMO pretty easily without needing special planning permission. But when a council slaps an Article 4 direction on an area, that automatic right disappears. Poof, gone. A landlord then has to apply for full planning permission, and the council can say no. They do this to manage things like parking, noise, and just the general vibe of a neighborhood.
Phew, okay, we have definitely covered a lot of ground. So let's pull it all together and make sure the most important bits really stick. So, what are the big things to remember? 1. Your contract is almost definitely an assured short-hold tenancy. 2. Remember that it's a two-way street. You have a right to a safe home, and you have responsibilities too. And 3, if you're in a shared house, there are special HMO rules, and even local council policies can affect what kind of rentals are available near you. And honestly, here is the most important takeaway of all. Your tenancy agreement is a serious legal document, but you are not on your own. If you're ever
ever unsure about something in your contract or about your rights, please get advice. Places like Citizens Advice are there for exactly this reason. At the end of the day, being an informed tenant is being an empowered tenant.